diameter's on its way.
How hard and in how many ways do you separate yourself from other people? Are you really proficient or just sort of an amateur? I suspect we're proficient. Another way to say that is how many circles do you draw? Not a crop circle, just your circle. So you draw a circle. What's a circle for? A circle is to say whether someone is in or out. And at the center of the circle there's a dot, and that's you. So you probably draw a circle around your family. These are my family. Those are not. If you you might draw a circle around your city and your football team. These are my family. Those are not. Draw around your country. We are all in the same country, and then there are the other countries. Oh, and maybe the most poignant in a way. When you fall in love and romance is everything, you talk of our love. Now, to people who are not core students, their reaction might be, well, of course. Well, why not? I think that's an interesting phrase, our love.
Don't we do that with Oasis too?
I don't know. But you could. Oh, well, more generally, our religion.
Our religion, yeah.
Country, religion, family, spouse. But just that's a special case of the family, I guess. Our love. The Course says, it just cuts into this with a huge knife. I mean, you know, if that's a slice, if that's butter, boy, it just goes
Right through it.
It says, there is no love but God's. And He loves all. And equally. Oh, shit. Shot me dead. I put myself in the circle. It became a thing for a target practice, you know, and bam. I think that means exactly what it says. When you love does not exclude, and it doesn't have a lot to do with whether it makes you all happy and wanting to jump up and down and clap and cheer, which people do at games all the time. People love to clap. They love to cheer, but they have to have an excuse, of course. If Team A is winning and Team B is losing, and the fans of Team B were all cheering, people would wonder, well, what are you cheering about? You're 50 points behind. Cheer louder. That would be nonsense to most people. It would not make any sense. This all it comes under the heading of separation. When you draw a circle, I'm separating some from others. And so what becomes really, really important is how you treat the others. If you can treat them good enough, your circle's gone, you might say. You know, if you start treating them with the same consideration that you treat the ones in here, then the circle dissolves, you see. But people like to draw circles, and they also like to be the center of their circle. And if you're in there with them and you're trying to take over center, you want to push them out of your circle, actually. This all comes from the animal kingdom, where animals fight like heck to establish who's the alpha. They'll kill each other to do that. You know, many animals. And we have this a similar situation, I guess. We want to draw a circle. The Course says that there are three, it mentions three particular things that the Holy Spirit has to work with. And the first was separation. The second, well, let me not say it that way. You're separate from others. You're different from others. You are better than others. And we call that being special. And it lists, and this is what the Holy Spirit has to work with. That's his program assignment for the day. You know, what the teachers have when they prepare a certain setup for the day. You know, a outline or a plan.
Lesson plan.
What?
Lesson plan.
Lesson plan. That's what. Well, this is the Holy Spirit's lesson plan.
Syllabus. A syllabus.
That's what he had. If God were giving him a lesson plan, he would say, well, here it is, same as it was yesterday.
Not doing very well, are you?
It'll be the same tomorrow. And of course, the Holy Spirit's job is to link all this somehow to your higher, let's just call it your higher mind, or to your true self, whatever phrase you want to use there. I don't know why he has to link it. I would have thought just destroy it. I have a simplistic mind, kind of militaristic mind. If it's not good, just shoot it, blow it up. The course has taught me that doesn't work. Maybe on a battlefield, but wars don't work either. So that gets you for nothing. He wants to link it to this, and teach all of us that these things don't mean anything. But we have quite an investment in it, and furthermore, we know that some people say that if your stock is going down, you should buy more of it. Have you heard that?
Bible, yeah.
Oh, just buy more of it and let it go down some more. Oh, buy even more of it. It's gone. Do you buy more then? No, you go after the guy that advised you to do that to get some retribution, I suppose. So, how many of these do you like? Or how much energy do you put into it to think that I'm separate? Who are you separate from? People will come to mind. Somebody will come to mind. I'm separate from somebody. And, well, the Holy Spirit will help you there because you're not really. It's just you're choosing that. And, well, at least I'm different. I can prove I'm different. Let me tell a joke and then you tell a joke and see who gets the laughs. He did and I didn't, or vice versa. Well, I'm different, you see. Well, that's because we've got the wrong eye. It's a little eye. Wrong eye, It's the little eye that involves your personality and the image of yourself that you have produced here. It's like if you're taking a pottery course and you learn how to mold the clay into the form of a dog or whatever you might like, a little person or whatever. And you work on it and you get it and it looks pretty good. You have a certain attachment to it because you made it. Now, if the other guy made it, you don't care about it. But you made this one, see? And so we have a certain attachment to the image of ourself, which I just call the little eye. The answer to all this, of course, is to get rid of the little eye. If you want to go to the core of the problem, you don't need it. You've got a bigger eye over here. And it doesn't do any of this stuff. So as you go through the day, just notice how often you separate from someone. By the way, when I say that this separating from others is the problem, it doesn't mean that every time you see the next person you see, you run at them and throw your arms around and hug them. That's not. But I'm not talking about the particular action. I'm talking about what's in your mind. Holy Spirit will let you know what kind of actions to do. And it will probably not be that, but it could be, but probably not. Whatever. It's not about doing or behaving in a different way. It's about having in your mind a different setup, a different environment to put people in, and it's one that doesn't have circles that excludes them. First thing you would want to do when you're walking down the street and see a bunch of dangerous people over here. Get rid of your circle. That doesn't mean you go up to them and say, do you want my money? I know you do, because I can tell you, here it is, I'll just give it to you up front. It doesn't, again, it's not about action. It's about the mind. That's where you start with everything, is the mind. And just make sure you haven't drawn a circle. And there's no reason to think that you're different unless you're looking at this. There is no difference here. And do you really want to be better than? What does that get you? A temporary rush, perhaps? The only reason I can think of, I've started watching football games, and I can enjoy doing that. I think you know that I don't root for either team. I don't even care. It doesn't make any difference what team it is. I just like it's a really interesting game to watch. And so, but I see it a lot, therefore, because football games are everywhere in this, part of the time of year. And what I'm seeing is people really love to identify with something bigger than themselves. Maybe they're not finding it in church or in a religious meeting, but they can find it at the football field, and all 100,000 of them can let up a great cheer of some sort when this little ball goes to the place where they want it to go, And so you can get caught up in that, and you put aside the fact that a football is a meaningless piece of leather. You just put that aside, and where it exists on a field is most certainly the most irrelevant thing you could think of, hardly. You put that aside and jump into the cheering. But if you cheer, you have to also groan when things go the wrong way. Somehow they have to be connected, So you're groaning that you just fumble the ball, and you're cheering. And you get so excited when you cheer. Oh my goodness, you would think something happened. You would think something, in other words, something really important happened. And the only thing that's occurring, it seems to me, is your false identification of yourself with a group of people who are doing something that has no meaning. Why do you want to do that? Well, it's easy, for one thing. Our society smiles at that sort of thing. It really does. And it can start with our love with two people, and then it can, expand to your love for your bigger circle, your team, your group, or whatever. Your political group, your religious group, your family group. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. You want to be different and special. So what the lesson plan here has to fight the fact that you want this. If you didn't want it, it wouldn't be there. So, our prayers are, Holy Spirit, help me want something that means something. Instead of nothing. Help me stop wanting nothing. And then we come in with some of this information here on sickness, and it says that sickness is your fear of awaking. You want to continue to want something that has nothing, that means nothing. You want to continue that. It's your game. And so if you sort of know that if the Holy Spirit's lesson plan actually works, and you're no longer separate, different, or special, you're going to have to wake up. And what you wake up to is truth instead of this stuff that you've made up. And you don't want to do that. There is a workbook lesson that says sickness is a defense against truth. We profess truth, but we don't really like it. We like our truth, not the truth. Yes.
Fear of awakening, I'm intrigued by that. Could you say more?
Yeah, I think that it really means that deep down, we may not think about it consciously that much, but deep down, we know this is not the real thing. There's something in us that kind of knows that. This is just a dream that we're having in our own mind. We make up our image of ourselves. I make up an image for each of you. That none of them means anything. And when you wake up, you will realize that there's no meaning there. But as long as you're asleep, you think there is some meaning there. So I'm working mightily to show you that my false image is better than your false image. Wow! Where's my star? We like stars too, you know. Above your name or around your name. Whichever. The truth is that you're a part of eternity. The truth is you're a part of infinity. The truth is you're a part of God. The truth is you're in the mind of God, and you can't be anywhere else, no matter that you mightily want to be, because in God there is none of these three things. And you don't, and so you know that as this lesson plans begin to take hold, you know that a ladder forms up, and you will be going up it, and at the top of that ladder is eternal joy. There is peace deeper than your wildest imagination. And so you will not be able to do any of this, and you are afraid of that. You might not be afraid of it. Maybe it's just more a matter of you're wanting this so much. I'm not really sure whether you're afraid of the good stuff or just addicted to the nothingness. You know, I'm not quite sure. Probably you're just addicted to this stuff here.
It's just familiarity.
It's familiar. That's understandable to all of us. Yes.
I would say that we're so connected and we want that little eye so much that if we awaken, that little eye goes away, and we're afraid of that. We know what we have, and we're afraid we'll lose it all.
And we must not really believe that it doesn't amount to anything.
Right.
Still value it, yeah.
Because it's death for the physical body.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's amazing the diversity of mind states of the people on our planet. You know, and even though I have not met all 8 million of them, and do not, not going to try to do that. No matter, I just have some inkling that the mind states, if you could see the mind state and compare one to the other here in this world of separation, you would see people's minds in all different places. If you wanted to put a number to it and say, let's just let's just take an average of all their beliefs and call it their level of vibration and give a number to it from 1 to 1,000. All those numbers would be filled. Oh, there's a 1. Oh, there's a 400. Oh, there's a 300. They all would be there. And when we interact with people, we assume their vibration or mind state is the same as ours. Well, I doubt it. I guess that could occur. But if they're too far away, we can't talk to them. I mean, we just can't communicate. Oh, and that's why probably we have such political separation. Is the mind states are so separate. It's not that one group's evil and the other group's holy. There are no groups, circles, that are evil or holy. They're just circles. It's just that the mind states can get too far apart where then you just don't comprehend what the other is saying. And so therefore you conclude, well, he must be from Mars. You know, he must be a devil from outer space or something. At any rate, if they're too far apart. And that's just a separation that comes from the different circles that we draw, see. And the thing that removes the circle is not our limited. Oh, I wish they would do a romance, and you would have these two people pledging forever fealty to each other forever, and then asking for the blessing of our limited love. That's what it is, except that the Course says that's not. If you limit it, that it's not really love. The essence of love is its lack of limit. You see, well, the essence of love is there are no walls, there are no boundaries between you and other beings between you and you. That's why Jesus said, well, what, somebody asked him, what is the commandments? You know, and he said he gave 2. Jesus is incredible. It's just incredible what was said long ago and then resaid in different ways. He said there are 2 commandments, didn't he? Love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. 2, love your neighbor as yourself. That just throw the rest of the stuff away. We've got it right there, you know. And then, of course, we want amendments. We can ignore number 1 most of the time, if da-da-da, or we can ignore number, and we have a whole list of amendments that we write for ourselves. You know, I do get to draw circles. Well, love your brother as yourself, your neighbor as yourself. I think that's actually what. Which was,
Yeah, right.
love your neighbor as yourself, wasn't that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I understood neighbor to mean everybody. I don't know what. Oh, well, we'll draw a circle. My neighbor. Oh, good. I just have to. These guys that live to the right and left, that's my circle. I don't love anybody else. Well, we know that wasn't the intention. It's the unlimitedness. We are more comfortable with something that's limited and that has walls. Lack of walls, the ability to expand, in all directions without any, that can be probably a little frightening. At least at first. Now, once you do it a few times, and I'm sure it's fine. How did I ever like anything else? You see. But we get, as somebody said, we get used to limiting, ourselves. And another way we limit ourselves is our view of happiness. You decide, I'm going to make my list now of what I have to have before I can be happy. Number 1, I want a husband. Number 2, I want a family. Number 3, I want to be a president of something. United States or just the local book club, whatever. I got to be special, see. I got to be head of something here. I can't just be my lone little self in the universe. That's right. You can't be that because it doesn't really exist. It's not what you are. So that's why a time of quiet and retreat from the general idiocy that surrounds you is so important. And is important every day. Your happiness is important every day. And the Course says the Son of God is happy only when he knows he is with his Father. So I suggest this week, try to be happy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob.
Good.
Let's join in a circle. We'll have a closing thought. I want to thank you all for being here today. Let's close with, I am not abiding.